what if your mind obeyed you the way a disciplined body obeys its training? Not on good days only, but precisely when the storm hits, when the message arrives at midnight, when the deal fails, when the person you trusted breaks a promise. I'm going to show you a way to test that claim tonight, before you sleep. One sentence you'll say and one practice you'll do that proves you are stronger than your mood. Keep that open thread in mind. Before we close, you'll use it to anchor the kind of control no one can take from you. Before we go further, a brief and humane disclaimer. This is education, not therapy or legal counsel. We're going to examine philosophy you can try in your own life, but your life is yours. Reflect, adapt, and if your situation involves health, law, finance, or safety, consult a qualified professional who can see the whole of your context. Ancient wisdom is a compass, not a prescription pad. Why this matters now is plain. We live with more signals, more opinions, and more surveillance by notification than any age prior. The pressure to react has become an economic engine. Algorithms profit when your attention fractures. Intermediaries benefit when you doubt your agency. Stoicism, at its best, is counter-economic. It refuses to sell your peace for spectacle. The ancient Stoics argued that a person is free to the precise degree they govern their judgments. Not events, not other people, not luck. Judgments. That sounds austere until you try it once in honest anger and feel the floor steady beneath your feet. Inner mastery is not a halo. It's a handle. We should clear two popular misconceptions because they ruin useful tools. First, Stoicism is not emotional anesthesia. It does not tell you to feel nothing. It trains you to feel without being led by feeling like a bull by a ring in its nose. Stoics cry at funerals, laugh with friends, fall in love, and feel fear in the dark. They simply refuse to grant those states the rank of commander. Second, Stoicism is not toxic positivity in a Roman toga. It doesn't insist that everything is secretly good if only you squint harder. It insists that your judgment is the lever that turns the same circumstance into either fuel or drain. You can hate the rain or you can build a roof. It's still the same water. That distinction between events and our judgments about events is not wordplay. It's the seam in reality where freedom hides. The first principle is almost insultingly simple. Some things are up to us, some things are not. The Greek term for what is up to us is proheresis, your faculty of choice, the point at which you consent or refuse, affirm or deny, pursue or avoid. You do not command the weather, the market, or the reflexes of other people. You do command the judgments you stamp onto those facts and the actions you take next. In plain English, you don't get to choose the wind, only the set of your sail. Nuance matters here. Control is not binary, and life overflows with partial influence. You may not control the hiring committee, but you control your preparation, your punctuality, your clarity, your follow-up, and your dignity in hearing no. You can't command affection, but you can live so that respect would not be irrational. You can't force an outcome, but you can make certain outcomes more likely and other outcomes survivable. Think of judgments as a mirror. Events walk past. Your mind lifts the mirror and decides which angle will reflect them into the rest of you. If you tilt the mirror toward catastrophe, tiny problems loom as monsters. If you tilt toward opportunity, even painful material can be worked into something serviceable. The event is the same. The angle is yours. Now, Hold that mirror as we meet the first story, a preventable downfall. I'll call him Adrian. He is the kind of mid-level leader who knows how to deliver. On a Tuesday, his team ships a feature, an honest improvement. On Wednesday morning, an email from above lands, critical and terse. That email multiplies in Adrian's head before noon. Not just a critique of the feature, but a referendum on his competence. A prophecy about his future, a signal that his allies are gone. By afternoon, he has snapped at 2 direct reports, sent a defensive thread, and thrown away his plan for the week because every meeting now feels like a trial. Nothing objectively catastrophic happened. A short message arrived. But the story Adrian told about that message, the judgment that it revealed a tribunal, became his operating system. In a week, he made the judgment true. Goodwill he had earned eroded because he began defending a war that had never been declared. This is what the Stoics meant by letting impressions run you. The first impression, the sting of critique, arrived. Instead of examining it, Adrian fused with it. The downfall was not the email. The downfall was unexamined consent to a frightened story about the email. If we slow the film, you can see the fork where another life begins. A Stoic pause is not passivity. It's the moment a captain looks up from the deck and takes the wind's measure before shouting orders. The pause is 1 breath long, sometimes 2. In that interval, you ask, what is the event precisely? What judgment am I attaching to it? Does that judgment help me do my duty? If Adrian had done this, the email would still be unpleasant, but it would remain one event, not a cascade. He might draft a calm reply that extracts specifics, meet his team without the tremor of self-defense, and schedule a follow-up with his manager to align on standards. That's the difference between being a puppet and holding the strings. Let's add the promised nuance, because the world is not a monastery. Power dynamics are real. Machiavelli is not a Stoic, but he is a realist. He notices that people act from fear, appetite, and glory more often than from virtue. A Stoic who forgets this becomes naive and is easily maneuvered. So when you receive a harsh note from above, do not pretend the hierarchy is irrelevant. See it calmly. Feedback from a superior mixes truth, mood, and political context. The Stoic asks, which parts of this text touch my circle of control? My craft, my preparation, my clarity, those are mine. Their mood, their status hunger, their optics games, not mine. Then, quietly, ask the Machiavellian question, what reputation am I compounding by how I respond? The goal is not manipulation, it's stewardship. A reputation for measured accuracy is armor. It reframes power games without you entering them. Our second story is a delayed awakening. I'll call her Mara. She's brilliant on paper and brittle in private. After graduate school, an invisible failure syndrome makes her hesitate over applications. A single rejection letter years ago planted a seed, and the seed has been watered by memory until it is a vine around her throat. She says she wants opportunity, but lives as if fate is the judge and she is on trial. Her awakening does not arrive with trumpets. It arrives when a friend asks a severe, compassionate question. If your worth were not at stake, what would your next step be? She writes down a plan and notices something astonishing. Everything on the page is actionable. It's a list of tasks, not a referendum on identity. Update materials, mock interview, reach out to 3 people, ship a portfolio revision. When she falters, she practices the Stoic drill called voluntary discomfort. She does small, controlled, hard things every day: a cold rinse, a run in the rain, a week of cooking simple food, a day without distractions. The point is not ascetic pride. It's to prove in the muscles that she can do what is necessary without the permission of feeling like it. Over months, the vine weakens. She still feels the old quiver when she hits submit. But it's only a quiver. Identity is no longer burning for fuel. Agency is heating the room. Here again, nuance keeps us honest. Voluntary discomfort is medicine. Wrong dose, wrong patient, wrong time, and you can produce harm. The ancients trained within communities. They practiced hardship to expand capacity, not to cosplay martyrdom. If your life is already on hard mode, illness, trauma, poverty, adding artificial strain may not be wise. The spirit of the practice is to remove the false condition only when I feel ready, and replace it with I act when it's time. For some, that means a cold shower. For others, it means asking for help. Both are forms of courage. Before our third story, let's return to first principles in plainer language. Events are raw. Judgment is cooked. Your mind is the kitchen. If you throw everything into the pan and crank the heat, you will set off alarms. If you learn techniques, naming, reframing, sequencing, you can feed yourself and others when the world serves you bitter ingredients. The dichotomy of control is the menu. What can I cook and what must I serve as given? Prohoresis is your hand on the stove knob. Virtue, the old Roman word for excellence of character, is the recipe you are trying to perfect. Wisdom, courage, justice, temperance. In practice, see things as they are, act without cowardice, give each their due, and refuse excess. None of this makes you invincible. It makes you reliable. Now, the credible transformation, call him Matteo. He runs a small fabrication shop that feeds 3 families and his own pride. Supply lines snap one spring. A key component is delayed indefinitely. The numbers bleed. His first impulse is rage and its cousins. He imagines yelling, suing, shaming. Then the second impulse, a quieter one, asks the Stoic question: given this wind, how do I still reach the harbor? Matteo locks the office and draws a circle in his notebook. Inside the circle, he writes everything his hands can touch in the next 7 days. Outside, he writes everything that depends on someone else's conscience or luck. Inside, renegotiate delivery windows, source a second-best material, call clients proactively, cut discretionary spend, shorten payment cycles, adjust shifts, explain with honesty to the team, and ask for ideas. Outside, the ship in the canal, the customs decision, the fuel price. Each morning, he interprets the news, then returns to the circle. He still fights, phone calls, letters, escalation, but these actions are chosen, not flailed. He keeps a tone, not because he is meek, but because he is building a reputation with vendors who will answer his call when others scream. It takes 8 weeks. He survives. When the market steadies later, he keeps the circle habit. His team notices. They start showing up with facts, not excuses. The culture becomes, in a word, Stoic. Reality first, action next. Dignity always. That is not a Hollywood montage. It is a daybook of choices you could verify if you sat in the shop and watched him. If you want a single picture that holds these stories together, see a fortress, your inner citadel, as one emperor called it. It's not a wall against life. It is a wall against panic. Inside the citadel are your laws. the commitments you have chosen, and the standards you accept. Outside is the weather of public opinion, the gust of chance, and the dust of rumor. You move through the gate each morning and work in the open air. But the citadel is never far. You return when you feel hijacked, and you remember what you actually believe. This image is more than metaphor. Habits are architecture. You are building a place you can return to under pressure. If you consecrate that place daily, you won't need a miracle when the sirens start. Let's make the translation into daily life in plain terms, then layer nuance. Begin with the smallest unit of sovereignty, the pause. When the surge hits, fear, anger, shame, name the event in words almost boring. A message arrived. It contains criticism of X. Then name the judgment your mind is offering. My mind is calling this a catastrophe. Ask whether that judgment helps you do what you value. If not, replace it with a truer one. This is unpleasant and solvable. My tasks are A, B, C. This is not a mantra to hypnotize yourself. It is a way to bring your prefrontal mind back into the room. In the language of power dynamics, this pause also interrupts the script other people hope you will follow. The colleague who provokes you benefits if you flare and confirm the caricature. The pause denies them that cheap win. It buys you strategic clarity. Next, set your day by roles and duties, not by moods and appetites. A person who belongs to a family, a team, and a craft has duties. Name them. As a parent, my duty is presence and steadiness. As a leader, my duty is clarity and fairness. As a craftsperson, my duty is attention and improvement. If you orient your actions by duties, you can act rightly even when you don't feel like it. The Stoics held that virtue is the only good that cannot be stolen. Duties are how you spend that good. If you want a phrase to anchor this shift, try this. I will not outsource my mood to events. Say it without grandeur. Say it in the kitchen, quietly, while the kettle warms. You are not denying your feelings. You are denying them command. Now for nuance. Some of us live with moods that do not yield to philosophy alone. If your mind feels like a room where the lights won't turn on, this video cannot diagnose you, and Stoicism should not be misused as a stick. There is dignity in seeking help. Ancient philosophers met in porches and schools. They expected collaboration. So keep the sentence and add others to your circle. Physicians, counselors, friends who tell the truth without theater. There is a practice that looks severe in print but feels surprisingly humane. Negative visualization. Imagine losing what you love, not to become morbid, but to soften entitlement and amplify gratitude. If you do this in the morning for 1 minute, the day's small graces come glowing. The coffee is not just coffee. It is a warm, fortunate event that could have been denied you. This is not magical thinking. It is perceptual discipline. Nuance again. If your history includes trauma, do not flood yourself. The aim is not to relive catastrophe, but to sharpen appreciation and readiness. We should say a word about ambition, because many here accept what you cannot control as a sermon against striving. The Stoics did not despise achievement. They despised slavery to outcomes. You can be fiercely ambitious and deeply stoic if you arrange your ambition around inputs and virtues. The Machiavellian frame helps here. The world includes executives who reward optics, peers who undercut, and markets that prefer the flashy to the solid. A Stoic sees all that without cynicism. You build reputational capital. Show your work, keep your word, avoid public quarrels, choose your battles. and pay your debts. You might still lose a contest, but you make it difficult to erase you, and you avoid the more common failure, winning in public and losing your self-respect in private. Let's circle back to the open loop I promised. One sentence, one practice. The sentence, we've already said, I will not outsource my mood to events. We'll close it at the end. The practice is simple enough to be dismissed and strong enough to change a week. Choose 1 hour each day when you are unreachable by everything except true emergencies, and devote it to a duty that matters. Not to inbox roulette, to the thing your role demands. If you are a writer, it is prose. If you are a manager, it is thinking time for the team's next 2 moves. If you are a parent, it might be the hour of undistracted attention your child remembers. This hour is your citadel maintenance. The door is heavy. You must push. But once inside, you restore the walls. I want to revisit Adrian because downfalls are not fate. Months after the email episode, he began using the pause and the circle. He apologized to his team without theatrics and made a rule. No reply to criticism within the first hour unless safety requires it. He set up a standing one-on-one with his manager to replace the telepathy powered by fear. When he felt the old story rise, they're testing me, I must defend, he translated it into a duty. Represent your team with accuracy, not with spin. He still gets sharp feedback. He still hates it. But the spiral is broken, and with the spiral broken, his work has somewhere to stand. Mara's awakening continued. She learned to love small, finished things. She practiced the discipline of enough. Enough edits, enough research, enough waiting for perfect conditions. The voluntary discomfort drilled a meta lesson. She did not need to feel like beginning to begin. The fear voice did not go quiet. It went quiet enough. That is a victory the ancients would recognize. They aimed not to become statues, but citizens who could be trusted when the city shook. And Matteo's credible transformation deepened into culture. He implemented a ritual at the shop, 10 minutes at opening for facts first. No narratives allowed before facts are on the table. Once facts stood upright, they allowed stories back into the room. Stories that explained, motivated, and assigned. New hires were trained in the circle. Middle managers learned to say, "That's outside. What do we own?" Vendors learned that his team would escalate without rudeness and tolerate pressure without panic. The business remained small. It also became resilient. People called it lucky, and there was luck. There was also craft. Philosophically, all of this rests on a claim you should test rather than merely accept. The quality of your life tracks the quality of your judgments. In plain English, your day goes how your labeling goes. The nuance is that some labels reveal, others distort. Judgment is not the enemy of reality. It is the instrument by which reality is made usable. The Stoic art is to keep the instrument tuned. When you feel the music sour, you don't smash the instrument. You adjust it. That is what the pause, the circle, the hour, and the voluntary hardship do. They tune you. Let's acknowledge limits, because clean talk without constraints becomes propaganda. You can do everything described and still face injustice. Courts misjudge. Bosses lie. Illness arrives at midnight. A Stoic does not pretend the cosmos is a vending machine where virtue purchases reward. The promise is smaller and nobler. You can meet whatever arrives with a character you respect. That does not fix everything. it does fix the thing you must live with every hour, your own regard for your conduct. And there is another modest promise that often grows large. People come to rely on those who do not panic. In power games, calm can be a force multiplier. Machiavelli would recognize that. The Stoics would warn you to use it without cruelty. If you want a felt image for resilience, imagine gravity. You do not defeat gravity by enthusiasm. You live well under gravity by technique, posture, leverage, training. Emotions are gravity. Stoicism teaches technique. Stands first, then lift. Or imagine a ship in a gale. The storm does not ask your permission. Your hands on the sail and rudder are the only votes you hold. A Stoic does not shout at the clouds. A Stoic trims. There is one last correction we should make because it haunts otherwise good lives. Many modern interpretations present Stoicism as a solo art, a lone citadel polished to mirror brightness. But the ancients lived embedded, families, comrades, students, work. They debated in public, submitted to teachers, and accepted correction. The practice scales when you practice it with others. Try this. At home or at work, adopt a norm where anyone can say facts first, without offense. And everyone pauses to separate event from story. Adopt a norm where anyone can ask, inside or outside the circle, and the group responds with actions they own. Watch how much theater evaporates when those norms hold. As we move toward closing, return to the hook. We begin with a test, one sentence and one practice to prove that your mind obeys you more than your mood does. Carry the sentence into the next difficulty, large or small, and say it under your breath with a straight back. I will not outsource my mood to events. Then schedule the hour behind a closed door. Guard it like a craftsman guards his tools. Make something that duty demands. If tonight you do both, the test is passed, quietly and without applause, and a different kind of confidence appears, the kind you don't need to post to believe. What remains are lessons you can take without writing them down, because they fit in a pocket. Pause before you hand your steering wheel to an emotion. Name facts before you negotiate with stories. Act by duty when appetite refuses to come along. Train small hardships so that big ones find you practiced. Build a reputation for measured accuracy and keep it costlier to erase you than to work with you. Keep your citadel maintained and your gate open. Laugh when you can, cry when you must, then back to the helm. If this chapter felt like architecture, foundations, walls, a roof, it's because habit is structural. You are building a place to live in times when many are camping in their own alarms. The next chapter, when you're ready, is to explore negative visualization with care and to treat time itself as a Stoic discipline, budgeting it according to your duties rather than letting it leak according to your distractions. For now, take the sentence and the hour and begin. The wind will not ask your permission tomorrow, but the set of your sail, that remains yours.